What's going on, y'all? Today's video, we're talking about something that's very specific to Real Broker, and it's a question that I had when I was first considering joining Real Broker, and so I thought I would try to make the best video on the internet about this topic. We're talking elite agent, which is basically like a goal. It's a point at which you get rewarded within Real Broker. And is it cool? Is it worth shooting for? Is it a total scam? Let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch and I run multiple real estate teams around the United States. And frankly, I'm only interested in working with agents who want to do things differently. So if that's you, come hang out for a while, hit the subscribe button, maybe join one of my teams, maybe join Real Broker, maybe just leave a comment. For lack of better language, elite agent is basically the highest honor that an agent can achieve or reach at Real Broker, sort of maybe becoming part of leadership or something like that. But it's the highest honor with a very clear path within Real Broker. Capping, that's an honor, honestly. I think that's a cool thing to reach. That's a milestone. And then elite agent is the next major milestone. Maybe I should have been saying milestone the whole time. We'll keep it going. And basically, if you've watched a bunch of my videos already about Real Broker, you know that Real Broker has an 85-15 split with a $12,000 cap, which means that you pay 15% of your gross commissions out to Real Broker until you've paid them $12,000. If you haven't watched yet, I did a much more in-depth breakdown of splits where I took a $400,000 transaction. I said it was a 3% commission, which again, very, very negotiable. And if you were a solo agent and you were paying 15% of that gross commission, basically you would cap somewhere in your 7th transaction if they were all identical transactions at $400,000 and 3% commission. And so to reach elite agent, you have to first reach cap, right? And cap, again, is kind of that first goal, that first milestone. It feels awesome to cap because then you switch over to 100% commission. Nothing's ever totally 100%, but very, very good commission splits. Elite agent can only be achieved by an independent agent or a solo agent, not a team member agent or a team leader. Basically, anybody who's paying a full cap, and you can be on a team and qualify yourself as an independent agent with that full cap if you want. I have an agent on my team who does. I think at least, maybe I have 2 agents who do, because they want to hit elite agent, and that's a goal that they've set for themselves. And so for anybody who has a full cap, independent agent, agent on a team who sort of has qualified themselves or basically said, hey, I'm eligible for elite agent and I want to pay the full cap, or a team leader, anybody with a $12,000 cap could become eligible for elite agent status. And so you pay the full annual cap, and then once you've capped, you generate $6,000 in post-cap transaction fees. And those transaction fees that you are paying into Real Broker once you've capped are $285 per transaction. So to pay in $6,000 into that, you basically have to do 21, I think it's actually technically in your 22nd transaction is when you hit elite agent after you've capped. So the reality is a person could cap in literally one transaction, but it would have to be like a nearly $3 million transaction from there. So once you cap, 22 more transactions after that. If you're doing like a median sale price of $400,000 up until you cap, again, it's going to be about 7 transactions plus 22, so that's 29 transactions. If you are doing really high volume, then that just number shrinks by how few it takes you to cap. And likewise, if you're doing really low dollar transactions, it's going to take you longer to cap. But then once you cap, the transaction fee situation is the same. So as many as it takes you to cap, plus 22 transactions to reach that $6,000 in transaction fees. And so by that point, not counting any annual brokerage fees, which by the way are like $750, it's not much, or like the startup fee in your first year, which is $250, not counting that, just in overall, commission splits, the cap, and then the transactions, you will have paid in $18,000. And when you hit that $18,000, Real awards you $16,000 in stock at the going rate. So $16,000 worth of stock. It depends on how many stocks that is, like actual stocks that is, depending on the value of the stock at any given time. This is truly one of my favorite things about Real, is that if you are ambitious and you try to hit an elite agent status, you can basically be an agent at Real Broker, and it will not cost you anything, and in fact, you will make money by being an agent who is performing at a high level there. By the way, I didn't mention this, you get some stocks just for capping. So you do $12,000 in cap, you get awarded some stock at that particular milestone. So then, once you hit a lead agent, you get $16,000 in stock. Basically, by that point, they're not refunding you all of the money you paid in, but they are basically saying like, hey, thanks for this, you reached a milestone, we're gonna put that into stock. Maybe the biggest catch to the whole thing is that there's a vesting period. I don't think the vesting period is a bad thing, because I think Real Broker is actually a very great foundation on which to build a real estate business. And frankly, I 100% understand the motivation of the vesting period. It's because they want people to stay. They don't want people to take some stocks and run with it. And in fact, I think that would be a very, very foolish decision. I will be the first to say that I find stocks to be an absolute snooze fest. If you ever see me at any kind of gathering and you want to put me to sleep, talk to me about stocks. But that doesn't mean it's not super, super valuable. And the way it's sort of baked into production, whether or not you care, you get it, right? You don't have to sign up for eligibility of a lead agent. You just have to do the work. And I was going to do the work anyways. I had done enough volume in previous, I think maybe all 3 previous years of real estate before joining Real. I had done enough volume that I would have reached a lead agent, but I got zilch for doing that kind of volume. There was no kind of reward. No, hey, cool, you've reached this hard to reach milestone, here's a reward for you. I've been doing real estate for 4 years now. Had I gotten a lead agent, I mean, I kicked myself for this. Real Broker wasn't even in my state when I started, so what are you gonna do? And there were other brokerages that maybe have some similarities to Real Broker that I just didn't like the vibe of, right? And so I was not particularly interested in that. It felt very rah-rah, it felt kind of BS, and so I didn't go that route. And then when Real came here, I was pretty quick to join. But had I done this for 3 years, instead of having $16K in stocks at the end of this year, I would have $72,000 in stocks. That like kind of hurts a little bit to know. Also, some of them would actually be vested right now. And not only that, but I bet the stock then was considerably lower. So I'm pretty sure those vested stocks would be considerably higher than $16,000. What are you gonna do? Sometimes I feel like talking about the stock situation or the elite agent, I feel like a hypocrite, because so much of what I talk about in this channel or with my team or with people that I'm helping is like, keep your eye on the ball. Don't pay too much attention to this other stuff. But if you're coming over to Real Broker, I think it's very important that you know that there are these cool opportunities that are afforded you just by joining Real Broker and not by doing anything differently at all. Hitting a lead agent has the benefit of the stocks, right? That's super cool. It also, then your transaction fee goes from $285 to I think $150. Again, don't quote me on that. Anyway, it gets discounted to even less. And yeah, again, $285 per transaction plus a $30 BOP fee is so low compared to other brokerages and even 100% commission brokerages. And if Real stock goes up, which frankly I think it will, I think Real's profile is going to continue to go up quite a bit. I think the amount of agents that they have is going to go up, and I think too the profitability will go up, because I think Real's doing a lot of the right things to grow the brokerage, and ultimately I think the stock will go up as well. And so as the stock goes up, the investments you made in the stock previously, even if they were just because you hit a lead agent, they were gifted to you and whatever, those will also continue to go up. And I love that it's just like that you get this whether you ask for it or not, if you reach these certain milestones. And then in 3 years, as Real stock goes up, the number of stocks you'll get will go down, right? Because you're still getting $16,000 and that will be less stock, but then the stocks that you had from previous years will have gone up as well. And so it's all pretty cool to me as far as that's concerned. And last thought on the stocks. This is all money that you would have paid to a broker anyway, right? This is actually less money than I paid to my previous brokers, and less money than most people who are doing this kind of volume will pay into other brokerages. And then sort of the final piece of reaching elite agent is that once you've reached elite agent, you can then teach classes in Real Academy. This is not something I've done, and a lot of it is because I struggle for, is it the right allocation of my time? I want to contribute to Real, but I also want to contribute to strangers on the internet who may be considering Real or joining my team or something like that. So while I could be teaching within Real Academy, and there are benefits for that, one second, I think I would rather teach the masses, even if the masses right now are not that many people. I would rather be trying to grow my own profile, if you will, on the likes of YouTube, and I would like to allocate my time teaching in that regard. And basically by saying yes to that and no to the Real Academy thing, what I'm forfeiting is you can also get another $8,000 in stock, in whatever gifted stock, just for teaching one monthly course or class or a Zoom call fundamentally within Real Academy. I've been on some of these Real Academy classes and they're good. They're very, very interesting. Maybe at some point I will. Maybe I'll find a way where I can mesh them together. I'm not sure if Real even allows that, to be honest. But for now, I've decided to allocate my time to teaching y'all, right? To having this information that can be accessed by anybody who has the internet, and not putting my time into the Real Academy thing. And maybe at some point I will. Frankly, I could probably benefit from increasing my profile within the brokerage of Real, which I don't think I've paid that much attention to. So all things to consider, but for now, I'm not doing the Real Academy thing. If I was to get like approached by, maybe I would, I don't know. But to me, the $8,000 in stock isn't juicy enough when I could spend my time, trying to reach a wider audience on YouTube like y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.